Cliffs of Dover by Eric Johnson has an intro that is epic, but also extremely difficult. But how long does it take a pro guitar teacher to learn it? First I need to go back. I attempted to learn this when I was a teenager, unsuccessfully. I attempted to learn this in my 20s, unsuccessfully, during the pandemic. But now that I've been playing guitar for 30 years, am I finally ready? I thought it would take me 2 months practicing a couple of hours a day, 6 days a week to get it. I'll tell you later how long it did take, and how did I go about it? Well, let's find out. Step 1. I usually search for an accurate guitar profile, but unfortunately I couldn't find any tabs that I was 100% happy with. However, YouTuber Mr. Tabs has a great transcription, and his playing and tone are also extraordinary. So I bought the tab. Yes, actually paid for music. And I became a Mr. Tabs Patreon so I could access that legendary amplitude tone. The intro to Cliffs of Dover is fast. Really fast. It's played at a tempo of 160 beats per minute with lots of 16th notes scattered all around the neck. So notes being played at this speed. That's fast. I needed to ensure that I was hitting each note correctly. So I could hear how accurately I was playing it, I ripped the audio from Mr. Tab's playthrough and loaded it into Apple Logic. This allowed me to speed up and slow down the audio for practicing purposes. I also recorded myself playing alongside the audio, enabling me to deeply analyze my playing for any small mistakes. Yeah, I need more hobbies. The intro to Cliffs of Dover consists of a whopping 176 notes, over 21 bars. To navigate the neck with ease, I knew I needed to memorize the entire piece. However, this was a significant challenge. It took me about a month to learn all the notes and work on rough positionings. Because things are moving at lightning speed and any inefficiency could sabotage the whole performance, it became crucial to make sure I was using the correct fingers and the appropriate picking technique. Like in this part, I need to think, do I use my index and pinky? Or do I use my ring finger and my index? Or do I do pull-offs? Yeah, I really need a new hobby. In the past, my attempts to learn this song were unsuccessful due to bad technique. At the time, due to inexperience, I wasn't even aware that I was playing with bad technique, and the internet hadn't exactly evolved to the point where I could try and solve issues I was having. As I'm sure you all know, these days it's possible to find videos of people demonstrating how they play the intro, and this helped me problem solve many of the challenges I was having. So this step was all about researching the way to approach the most difficult parts. But it's important to point out that all players are going to do things a bit differently. I found different tutorials breaking down just this 5-note section, and each tutorial approached it slightly differently. Eric Johnson now plays the whole intro with more pull-offs and hammer-ons than he used to play it with back in the day. And when Eric Johnson plays it live, he never plays it like in the recording anyway. So I thought even Eric Johnson would approve of me making some little adjustments here and there. Ultimately, my goal was to play the Cliffs of Dover intro, but I don't want to be Eric Johnson. If I wanted to be Eric Johnson, I'd wear a guitar pickup like a bow tie.
That one is missing the neck pickup.
I'm wearing the neck.
Oh.
Step 5 proved to be the most challenging. It was a test of my commitment as well as my patience. By now I'd been playing for a couple of months and I had a really clear idea of how I was going to play it, so I just needed to break it down and do the practice grind. I needed to improve my picking and finger speed, so I focused on leveling up those skills. To do this, I targeted 3 sections. And I spent 80% of my time practicing just these parts and the rest of my time on the other parts, as well as doing complete playthroughs. And that's just because getting better at the most difficult parts just increases your general skill level, so then I can play the rest of the song more easily. For the most difficult part, I broke these notes into even smaller 3 or 4 note combinations. And eventually I worked on piecing them together. I practiced along with the track as well as with a metronome. I started playing it around 60% and gradually built up the speed. Even though I had the brilliant Mr. Tabs transcription, I had to make some adjustments for my own playing because I'm not as good as Mr. Tabs or Eric Johnson. So instead of picking all these notes, I played them as pull-offs and I played some notes on different strings. Health warning! There were some massive challenges in playing something so beyond my level. Pushing yourself constantly can lead to fatigue and potential repetitive stress injuries if proper breaks are not taken. I worked at a capacity of speed where I was playing with about 70 to 80% accuracy and would do 5 sets of that and then take around a 30-second rest. and I would do quite a lot of stretches. This method pushed my hands constantly to challenge themselves and ultimately accelerated my progress. I found practicing with a clean tone helps because I could hear how accurately I was playing the notes. When you play with the Eric Johnson tone, you get a bit too excited by all the echoes and reverb. That you lose focus on what you are doing. As a little practice hack, towards the end I would practice the most difficult parts at more than 100% speed, as this would make the 100% speed playthrough seem manageable.
Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind?
It was a real mission to get through it. Sometimes my hands got so fatigued that I had to rest them for a couple of days, and sometimes I would have a great day only to come back the next day and completely suck, which every beginner knows about. But I felt that I was on the right path and I would eventually get there in the end. Eventually what seemed so difficult and almost unachievable started to come together, and I could control the notes even when they were coming out so fast. So by practicing a couple of hours a day, 6 days a week, I thought it was going to take me about 2 months to learn, but it ended up taking me around 7 months to learn. And yeah, like most people, I suck at estimating how long it's going to take me to do things. It's not perfect, but I'm proud of it, and has really leveled up my skills on that never-ending quest to improve on guitar. And if you want to see a video which breaks down the main reasons why guitarists just can't get any faster, I would watch this video next.